Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Monday, the 25th of August, sorry. Happy Monday, a new week is upon us. And yeah, we're going to have a monthly close on, is it Friday or Saturday this week? Is that 31st of August? I think there might be. So maybe Saturday this week. Oh, why am I lagging a little bit? Is the stream okay? Stream should be okay. So yeah, the order book. I don't. This CoinGlass order book has been a bit weird recently. It's been a bit. There's not really been that much on it. I guess if you zoom in a little bit to here, we can see that there's not really that much in the book at all or above us. Let me put this down. Okay, that's way better. I had my settings too high. Nothing really too crazy in the order book. We've got some small stuff at 110.5, 110.6, but it's nothing really too substantial. The volume node that comes in just around 113.2, 113.4, kind of where we just did those bearish retests. I believe that's the daily weekly open actually. So the volume node is at the daily weekly open. Be interesting to see if we gain that. Right now it's looking a little bit bearish on Bitcoin. We have just made a new low, also losing the volume node as well. That's very bearish retest. And yeah, if we can regain some of that stuff, it will regain some priority upwards. But as of right now, I think Bitcoin is it's looking like it might have topped out. I don't want to say it has topped yet, but if you also look at this long to short ratio, we're at 66.5% longs in the market, which is it's a lot. It's a lot of longs. People are longing the dip on Bitcoin, and yeah, we might see an absolutely naughty rotation in the next 2 to 3 months, and then we're looking at the end of the bull market. Right now, we're pretty much staring down the barrel. If Bitcoin keeps dumping to 100k and altcoins keep popping off, I think the next pump up on Bitcoin would be it to 115, 120. If we don't gain 120, that will be the exit pump. And yeah, I think it's looking very, end of the bull market, a little bit of a craziness in the next 2-3 months, blow off top maybe. And then yeah, we're definitely talking about a possible bear market quite soon. In terms of liquidity, there is a little bit of a hotspot down below us at 110.4, 110.5. To the upside, we've got a lot of liquidity. We've got 116.5. We've got 117.5. We've got 118. We've got pretty much all the way up to 120. There's a decent amount of short liquidity. But again, there's too many longs in the market right now to potentially go hunting this stuff unless we can gain back the daily weekly open, and even then we've got some bearish retests to do in August and 117, 118.3, 119. Like there's a lot of potential resistance now on the way up, and we have made a new low. So yeah, it's looking quite interesting. I'm definitely very interested in some alts right here, due to some of the daily weekly opens last week, but the main liquidation pocket is about 119.5. So if you do come up and grab that stuff and start closing below like 119, it's going to be looking a little bit interesting. As of right now, we're in a bit of a downtrend on Bitcoin, and yeah, pretty much that's it for the data. Everyone wants to get into the charts, so I'm stealing his milk. Nah, that's actually funny because apparently it's very, very big with bodybuilders. Apparently some mummies, like they sell their milk online, innit? Why am I lagging? Everyone can see that, right? Joke. Also, next Monday is US bank holiday. Okay, so that's a definitely a bigger one for us. It's nutrition bench. Yeah, September usually a red month. Get a local top and ETH this week. Go back to support band in September and then pump to the top of the bull mark. Maybe. September's not always a bearish month. Sometimes it is, for sure. But not always. Maybe for Bitcoin for sure, but yeah, so why did I turn this off? Let's turn that off and turn this on. So yeah, we've just made a new low on that previous 4-hour close that we closed well, that was a little while ago now. The new one's going to close in 1 hour 45 minutes, so let's see if we can sort of like gain the low back at 112.1. If we can gain the daily weekly open, it opens up tests for in between August and 117k, where potentially you're going to find a little bit more resistance as the 4-hour combination band is also coming down here as well. Yeah, since we've lost this EMA ribbon as well, I would expect that maybe if this comes down to daily weekly open, the first test of this will probably be a bearish test. If we can gain it, great, but that's probably going to be a first bearish retest. And then if we hold the low, then we're maybe talking about going up further. Right now, it just looks like it wants to slide a little bit further down. Although we are on support in this swing right here. 111.5 is definitely support. And we do have the CME gap above us, like Lensby also pointed out. So potential for a little bit of a bounce here, but in general, I think it looks a little bit bearish, especially after we regained this high here, and we had a low set in. So we wanted to hold this low basically, and we failed to hold it. But we are at support, so interesting on Bitcoin. I'm not really that interested in it at the moment. We are potentially bull diving on the retail stablecoin demand here on support, so this is quite good. We also have again, the CME gap is above us, so there is a potential for a little bit of a bounce off this area. This is the CME chart, right? I need to have a look at the gap, so it's probably going to be easy on the hourly. Yeah, so the gap is pretty much from it's pretty much from the daily weekly open all the way up to August, basically 117. So if we cannot gain back the daily weekly and then 117, you're just basically looking back for further. So daily weekly open, you're going to 117, potential resistance, and then you might bullishly retest it. If not, then we're just going to slide lower. But yeah, that's Bitcoin. I'm not that interested in Bitcoin at the moment because alts are definitely looking a little bit more interesting. We have printed some bearish divergence on the weekly time frame with the overbought dot on the oscillator as well. Cash flow is coming out on this weekly candle as well, so these are very toppy signs for Bitcoin, especially with ETH running, ETH Bitcoin doing really well. If we get if we get alts going crazy now, it's going to be very likely that like I said in the intro, that the next pump up on Bitcoin is going to be probably the exit pump. But yeah, until we can sort of like break some of these levels and maybe put in a lower high, it's still got a little bit of steam left in it before it actually goes into a bear market. So potentially this could be the top. We don't really know yet. It's a bit early to say, just on Bitcoin. And if it is, we're looking at a little bit of altcoin action for the next 2-3 months, and then yeah, it's could be bye bear market time. So yeah, that weekly chart, it's looking a little bit bearish. We talked about it last week and the end of the week before as well. I think we could definitely go see 100k, 103k, somewhere in 104 to 100k definitely would be on the cards. And yeah, that's Bitcoin for me. Bitcoin DOM, I'm actually gonna clean up this chart just now. There's a lot of things that I don't want to see on that. So Bitcoin DOM, yeah, we're still in a downtrend. It's actually breaking below the EMA ribbon, which is nice to see. We've had a bearish retest off the bottom of this structure already. which is also very nice. And yeah, we're currently also at support. So this would be a classic support on any sort of chart. And we are also in the daily combination band here. So there's a potential for a little bit of a bounce on Bitcoin DOM, maybe just to retest some levels in here. But in general, I think this is probably going to fall further down into 54% in the near term, as we're just seeing, as we're just going to see a bit of a rotation in the market, which is kind of to be expected at this stage. Rate cuts and scam pumps to swing for all-time highs and bear markets, my theory, whenever that happens. Yeah, I'm still banking on a bit of altcoin season. In terms of altcoin season, I don't think we're going to get crazy price action. I don't think we're going to start breaking all-time highs. We need to manage our expectations here. Even if ETH gets a blue sky breakout, it's like, how much steam will it have in it? We need to be very careful with how we're approaching this in our mind as well. Every time Bitcoin does a new all-time high, it seems to be some sort of short-term top. So we just need to make sure that at this stage in the market, we're being smart with our bags. I'm personally trying to get into some of my some more altcoins and some spot bags at the moment. And once we start seeing the rotation, I'm gonna take some profit quite aggressively, 10-20%, and then let hopefully the rest of the bag go up a little bit higher. Well, I'll be taking some big TPs between September and the rest of the year, in anticipation of potential rollover in the whole market. But yeah, Bitcoin ETH DOM hasn't made a macro high or low yet. Expecting this to come next week. Yeah, we'll have a look at Bitcoin ETH. Most coins even getting to this cycle all-time high is ambitious. I also agree. I've been saying that actually for a couple of weeks as well. Well, actually, for a long time, I've been saying that. We're not going to get to a lot of these coins all-time highs. But yeah, let's have a look at some of these weekly charts again. We'll just have a look at, yes, so the crypto cap chart. We are getting some bearish divergence. We're getting the overbought on the weekly. We're getting some confluence on the wave master as well. So this is definitely some top signs. Obviously, we need to break down from some price action first, and we are still in an uptrend. That cannot be denied. But we just need to watch for, if we start breaking some of these levels on the weekly, it's very likely that the next time we do come up, it's going to be the bearish retest. So just keep that in mind, and we'll have to see how it goes. In terms of the weekly crypto cap chart, it still looks fine. This is support. We've got the weekly low from the end of July, beginning of August as well. Yeah, it is looking a little bit toppy though. We do have 1 wick into the weekly combination band as well. Liquidations are going to show on this chart anyway, so yeah, let's just manage our expectations at this stage in the market. This obviously includes Bitcoin, so that's why it's looking a little bit more bearish compared to, say, something like, by the way, let me just delete some of this stuff. Others too, which is trying to gain its previous all-time high here and this swing that we just set at 1.61 trillion back in the end of December. So we've done a nice gain. We've actually closed a weekly candle above this level, which is good. And so this is looking like it could potentially have a little bit of a larger breakout, although the daily is looking a bit precarious right now. We're obviously getting some similar toppy structure on the weekly time frame right now. It can stay in this area for a little bit, but yeah, the daily we would like to see hold some of these levels. If we do sort of break here, we want to see holds in between in this area around the 786, and we don't want to make any new lows of this structure down here in this yearly open. But yeah, others, which I will just delete this just for simplicity's sake, but I do have I do have a Stuber set on that just in case, just to have a look. Others two, again, we're just around the all-time high swing from last cycle. We're not quite over at the all-time high from this cycle or the swing from this cycle. We have come up and retested it, but it looks like it wants to squeeze up into this resistance and potentially get some sort of breakout. As we are not in the overbought territory of this stuff yet. We're getting quite close, but it looks quite good. The weekly close was really good on this as well for a potential rotation. So if I just zoom in, and I'll just take this off. This weekly candle right here, very, very, very good candle. Very good hammer candle. Closed above the level. Nice wick. We're getting a bit of a dump just to start the week off, but we've got a whole week to see how this candle plays out as well. So that's a really nice weekly candle as well on total 3, which is yeah, looking quite good for again for altcoins in a rotation. Others still has a long way to go on this chart. A long way to go, and it actually looks pretty good. This looks really good. I think this is going to continue going up soon. We've had a nice bullish retest of this this top swing. Also, this we've got the weekly structure down here. We really don't want to lose this low. Again, the weekly structure that we did end of July, start of August. These candles are quite important, and yeah, hopefully we can see a continued break up towards the highs on others, which will be a nice little rotation, is what we're looking for. Last but not least, ETH Bitcoin. This is looking really good. I need to delete some of this stuff now. I'm going to just clean up all my charts. I'll probably keep something like that on. Actually, yeah, just that. We'll just keep that on, and we'll keep this on as well. There's actually a lot of levels you could potentially put on ETH Bitcoin, but in general, this looks really good. It looks really powerful. And yeah, it's going to potentially keep moving up. We're in the overbought territory, but this weekly combination band is arcing up. And if we can break out from this level that we're at, this one right here, this September level, if you get something like this, it's gonna go here. And you know, that might even actually be it for ETH. We'll see. These are fast moves. These are, you know, designed to not let anyone get any chance to get in and just blast off, leave everyone in the dust. But yeah, this is also gaining the EMA ribbon on the weekly time frame. The daily looks good. Everything looks fine. You really can't knock this. This is all support now. Again, we're at resistance, but if we can, you know, break this level, the altcoin market's gonna go absolutely nuts. It's gonna go absolutely nuts. So that's about it for the weekly stuff and the roundup of those things. We have had a little bit of a failure on the 4-hour on ETH. Just in between this area. This is now going to be resistance in between basically 4.83 and 4.75 in that area. But again, we're just looking for bullish retest. We're looking for bullish price action here. And I think, you know, if we come back down into here, there's definitely a lot of worthy Stubers to be taken, especially if the risk is not too bad. So that's quite heavy. If you could get something around the 886 here and maybe ladder down into this support, that would also be quite nice on ETH. We actually have potential to hold, yeah, sort of in here. But then again, we've also got the low of that pump candle. We've also got the support down here at 4.2 as well. So it's looking quite good. Having a little bit of a pullback now. This could even just bullishly retest the 618 and go back up. But yeah, it's all looking good. it's looking pretty fine at the moment for altcoins. I am trying to get into a couple positions right now to make a couple moves on the market. So let's have a look and see if anyone's also thinking the same thing. Feel free to slap anything in the chat. Most coins even getting to cycle all-time high. So yeah, I'll show you a good example on Link, which is what I was talking about a few weeks ago. Legit just caused by the whale smashing 2 bill from Bitcoin to ETH. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the rotation is very, very clear to see at this moment in time. And when I say altcoin season, I don't mean new all-time highs and crazy stuff. I do just mean at the most from last bull market. Like Link at the most is probably going to go up here. Well, not probably, but I think if you're seeing Link above $40 in between 40 and 50, it's probably time to take some profit. We've also got the 618 around this high structure on the weekly, which is another level that I would potentially be looking to take some profit. Obviously, if I accumulated quite a lot of Link down here. But yeah, it's just quite ambitious for this cycle to think that, you know, we're going to do this and we're going to just start blasting off to the moon. I would say that if we were a lot higher, if we were testing this 618 already, you know, up here, we're trying to do something, you know, we can maybe have a little pullback and then go up further. There might be a chance, but I just don't see us having enough this cycle to do some crazy alt stuff. And even if we do sort of like moves to there, you know, 300% on a big cap is kind of in the ballpark of numbers that I'm looking at for some of these altcoins to do. To be honest. So yeah, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Let's have a look at some stuff then. This guy's really rotating everything into ETH. So far, he has sold 18,000 Bitcoin worth 2 bill. He's now selling the last of which is still outside hyperliquid. So far, the two entities have bought ETH. Yeah, so anticipating a little bit of an ETH run. Maybe we get to 7K, maybe we get to 8K, possibly. I'm not sure if we go all the way to 10K. It just seems a bit too out of reach for us. And then we'll see a little bit of a rotation after that, and then it will just be bye-bye time. Injective testing March and August right now could bounce. That was a good level that I was actually trying to long as well on Injective a little while ago. Let's just do Sol quickly. So Sol on the 4 hour, we definitely have some solid resistance in here around the weekly open and the top of this swing now. We also do have a higher high as well. So what we can do on this is we can just flick this on and say this high comes in around the yearly open, potential area of interest. Because we have a new high, we can also put a local one of these in. Basically this area in here, especially if we hold that 4 hour. You also got the 618 around the top of the 4 hour combination band and the yearly open. It could also bounce there as well. That's definitely two areas of interest for me to potentially catch something on Sol for a potential run. For a potential little run up. We are having some cash flow out. We've also had some trend change. It just looks like it wants to have a little bit of a dip back into some of these levels, which I fully expect it to hold quite bullishly. Injective. Yeah, so like even on Injective, the weekly chart, this was obviously a really nice retest down here. I remember I bought some at like $7 just because it went all the way down there, which was also the 886 from the full move up to $50 in 2024. So, you know, I think it's very ambitious to think that, you know, we're going to start breaking 50 and go to 100, which was originally what I thought might happen, because I could see Injective being at a $10 billion market cap. So I think we should just manage expectations with a lot of alts as well. So I definitely do think this has potential to go up and see sort of like $30 again. Oh, wow, that is horrible lag. But yeah, I will be taking profit sort of in between 20 and 23, and then again at sort of like 28, 30. And if we do get up to the top structure, it'll be great, but you can't really bank on that at the moment. Why am I lagging so much? The stream should be fine. I think it's just my laptop. Bro, what? This is horrible. So, I'm lagging so much. What the fuck? Did you bring the dodgy router back? No, my internet's fine. I think it's just my laptop. I think I'm running out of storage, unfortunately. So I need to clean it up. That router in Japan was pissing me off. Ever since the baby knocked it over, it just started being really weird. Like really, really shit. So again, there's another potential long. I actually longed Injective at like 2.2, 2.1 here. Took a bit of profit here. Got stopped out on this wick. It did a massive pump. I was a bit salty. But yeah, you definitely have another chance to get something off here. If it does break down, you're looking at basically it just coming all the way down to June, and then potentially even Q3. But I doubt that happens right now. We're actually holding structure from this low. We've got a new high here. We want to hold this level pretty much and gain the weekly open to go higher. But there is also some potential here as well. I definitely think that if the risk is fine, it's worthwhile trying to catch some sort of long just below this low. And if your stop's in support like this, sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes it's worth bidding your stop. Sometimes. So if I'm trying to catch something on August and my stop's just below the low, maybe it's around 1.5% or something, and you get the nasty wick like here into support, sometimes it's worth just putting a little order on a different exchange around your stop, because then if you get stop hunted and then it goes like that, you can basically just make your stop back. And then this one, you have obviously another stop down here, and then if you break down, you're okay, fine, you're out of both positions. But at least you're not in an underwater one that you have to sink money into. So this is definitely something that looks quite interesting to me. Yeah, you're getting some hourly oversold. The 4 hour is coming in just below. You got a little bit of a dead zone in between 13.09, 13.16. I definitely think you could see a little bit of a bounce here, even if it does that, even just up to the weekly open. Would be okay. Nothing too crazy. Looking pretty decent. I might have to try and catch something on that. What else should we look at, guys? Did you bring that? Yeah, I already read that. Again, this is another thing that looks quite interesting. We got Dogecoin. We've got a low that we just put in on Friday, so that's an important low that we want to see held. It comes in around the 886, which is quite nice. We got the 4 hour combination band coming in just below the 786, which we're rapidly coming down to at this moment in time. If I just turn that off, it's going to be way easier to see. Yeah, this is also potentially something that, if held the low, we also could try to ladder into. So yeah, that again looks quite good. I'm generally trying to maybe get some low bids filled around here if we just dip into it. But yeah, it's not looking too bad on a lot of these alts for a potential little bounce. And even if we bearishly retest the daily weekly open, we'll take a lot of profit and then see if we do a higher low and just pen it out. If we fall lower down, then we'll try again a little bit later. A little bit later on in the week. That also looks potentially quite interesting. Again, if we do not hold this 4-hour low, we're probably going to come back into this daily structure from 4th, 5th and 6th of August in here. The top side is tested on the daily, just to note. But the bottom side isn't as of right now. So we could just see a quick, something like that. And then that's also very, very possible. But I'm quite bullish on alts at the moment. Just for a potential little rotation. And until we break some of this stuff. Like if we break that now, this low, 4.22 on ETH, then we're probably going to come all the way back to like 3.9. But it looks fine. It looks good right now. There's nothing to say that we shouldn't be looking at these in terms of shorting. I'm definitely trying to catch some longs on some of this stuff for this week. So hype. What's the best chart for hype? It's none of these ones. KuCoin's got the most data. KuCoin. Yeah, so hype looks really good. It looks like it's just consolidating for a little bit in between the all-time high here that we have tested once and the sort of lows and the structure we did all throughout June in here, which is heavy support now. I think we've built up quite nice support again around here when we did these tests at the end of July also. And yeah, we're holding August, we're holding Q3. It looks strong, it looks good. I think the first stop off we'll probably see on hype is in between 54 and 55, where we might see a bit of a larger retrace back down to some of these levels. But again, you just can't knock it. This has definitely been probably the strongest coin this cycle. It's massively outperformed the market. It's also gone first quite a lot, I've noticed. And yeah, it just looks great. Everyone deserves hype in their life. Everyone deserves a lot. I don't really know what else I can say on this other than it's just consolidating to break out higher. In terms of the tradable side, obviously we're holding here, which I actually tried to get a bit of a trade on here. We're holding here. If we don't hold here, we're going to go back all the way to August where the 4-hour combination band is. That'll be a very, very good level to try and long in here. And again at the lows. But I'm not sure. I don't think we'll get back down here anymore. I think you'd be lucky to get another August retest on this. It looks quite breakouty at the moment. It's just gearing up. And if it did another back test of here, again, I think it's gonna start squeezing up into the high. I think it looks really good. Every time I look at hype, it always looks quite good. Even when it does sort of like these weird tests, it just consolidates and does a bullish back test and then blasts out of it. So yeah, this is going higher. I did try to catch something actually quite local on hype. I actually tried to do a little 1 hour spin the block, which I've probably been filled on actually. I haven't even checked, but I've definitely been filled on this. Whoops. Yeah. I wanted to get it a little bit lower in here, but I've definitely been filled on a few orders underneath the 786. So yeah, I'm very locally again. I'm long on another exchange on hype. I mean, I got longs from down in the 30s on actual hyperliquid. I got a nice long on blowfin again from, I think it must have been this consolidation here. It wasn't the best. It was like 38, 39, but I just held it. So that's also in. And then I'm long on my third exchange very locally from 44-ish, probably. So I'm just gig along. Like, why would okay, I've also been saying this for a little while. Someone please tell me why I should mess around with ADA, DOT. I mean, Link's quite a good call. I quite like Link. I kind of like Aave. Even XRP, BNB to a certain extent. Why would I mess around with some of this stuff when I could just buy loads of hype on Fartcoin? Don't get me wrong. There's going to be rotations and there's going to be moves and other stuff. So, for example, I like Sui for potential rotation. I like Doge for a potential rotation. I like Link, which looks very strong. I also like Trading Injective. You know, Tau is also, again, let's actually have a look at Tau. Because this is back down in support. Damn. Let me just delete everything off this chart. This is back down in support right here. This Q3 to this March and this daily combination band, you've also got the low down here. This is heavy support on Tau. So this is another good coin. This is a potential buying opportunity also. Why would I mess around with some of these coins when I could just buy the strongest looking ones or the ones in narratives like Tau? I just don't see any positive in it. Everything Tia wishes she could be. Yeah, so Tia's a bit of a sad story. Again, while I just finish up on Tau, this is a potential area to long. We've got big support. We're in the daily and the 4 hour combination band. Every time longing 330 to 340 on Tau, if I just turn off all my indicators before I move on to Tia, has been quite a good opportunity in general. Well, to be honest, it's obviously gone a lot lower, but this is definitely an area of accumulation for me. In here. Yeah, anyway. Tia. Sad old Tia. Tia. So right now on this chart, okay, it's pretty dead on the weekly time frame. It is pretty dead, but we do definitely have potential to actually flip this. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but what I am saying is we nearly did it back here. This would have been the flip. If we can flip this area, so basically gain this high, if we can flip this whole area, this is also the weekly swing that I also put on. If we can actually gain that, it's gonna run. It's probably gonna run up to maybe even like $5 again, where that's probably where everyone's gonna start getting out of their underwater bags that they accumulated all the way down here. So there is definitely potential for this to do something. it's just not really done anything yet. We just need to see a little bit more from it. I definitely think there's potential. I won't be buying any more of this, but I will be watching for this potential gain to maybe long it up to here. You got ripping all of these levels up there to potentially. So the plan is simple. Gain this, and I'll long it up to here, in between here. That's pretty much all you should be looking at on here. Until that happens, you're kind of playing with rocks and sticks at the moment. I don't even know what that's saying, but play the winners, dump the losers, shout louder. Exactly. I mean, ever since hype, like even Fartcoins, to be honest, Fartcoins looking a little bit more sketchy, but it's definitely in some accumulation zone. And I will not forget what this coin was doing when every other altcoin was down in the ashes, which is why I'm betting hard on it. And it's just like, why? Let's not mess about with some of this, like Phantom, now Sonic, Ada. Yeah, it could go, but it's just a Dino coin. Dot, just forget about it. Now, saying that, I do like some stuff. I like Link. I like Aave, Injective, Sui, stuff like that. Okay, but again, make sure you're concentrated on your winners as much as possible. Let's look at Link and Aave quickly. Link. So Link, very good weekly close last week. Potentially going to go for the highs all the way at $29, $30 on the weekly time frame. Currently failing that February level, but it's nothing too crazy. We've had a really good weekly close. Just at daily resistance now. Nothing too crazy to say here. It looks a little bit upwards channel-y. These usually break down, something like that. But again, we're coming to alt season. If this did come all the way down to the yearly open, I would definitely be a big longer of this. But yeah, in general, it still looks good. And we could basically come retest somewhere in here, and it would still look really good. Why am I lagging so much? What's going on? Can people see that? This is horrible. Yeah, at resistance. I wouldn't long this right now though, even though it is really, really strong. It's still an uptrend of the 4 hour. It's trying to hold on to this 4 hour low, but yeah, it's just looking a bit overcooked at the moment. It's had a really good move. Rocks and sticks, bro. I feel so hungover this morning, but yeah, let's quickly look at Aave as well. Again, this is creating high highs and high lows. I'm expecting this to go a little bit further. It definitely looks a little bit better than Link. Obviously, Link looks super strong, but it looks like it could also have a little bit of a pullback. This looks good, but the weekly is also quite overcooked. It doesn't mean it has to have a bit of a retrace. We just have hit this weekly swing point right in here. I'd say as long as we can hold some of these levels down here, you know, you got the Q3 around this low from there to there. You got the yearly open. You also got the daily combination, man. This low is very important in here. We need to hold this structure from the beginning of August, and then yeah, we're just looking for higher. But this is not something that potentially I would long right now. There is potential for a hold on the yearly open and to come up and test the weekly open. I think that's kind of what I'm aiming for on a lot of things. If we do fail the weekly open, so if we come down here and test, you know, the 4 hour candle that we did, it's a potential area for a long. And if we come up and we fail the weekly open, We do have the potential to come a little bit lower into daily stuff, like all the way down here. I'd still be pretty bullish on that. And again, if we test a weekly open and do a higher low, we also have the potential to pen it out. So I'm looking quite bullish on altcoins. I'm looking to try and catch some things. I think I'm in hype. Filecoin we haven't checked out yet. Injective definitely has some potential to hold here. There's a potential trade open in this area as well. And yeah, in general, I'm looking at altcoins as about to blast off potentially. Render. Again, yeah, similar thing with render. This doesn't look bad at all. So this is the low, made a new high. Okay, nice. Big wick up, failed. Back down into support. This is overlapping support, so you'd expect it to hold. We've got the low on there. You can put the Stuber on here. 4-hour combination band comes in right on the 786. This is something that looks really interesting to me. You've got a lot of things lining up saying that potentially you could definitely get a bounce from here, even if it's just to August in the weekly open. That's fine. But this does look very interesting to me. This does look quite interesting. I might try to catch something on this on 3 or 4x. Provided we hold the low, there's also potential for a little bit of scamminess. For example, down to the Q2 and then like regain, something like that. But in general, I think this looks pretty decent, to be honest. Let's have a look at this daily chart. It looks like it's squeezing a bit, doesn't it? I think it looks quite good, man. It looks quite good. It looks quite good. Bitcoin might flush low here. Rocks and Stick, never heard that one. Yeah, I'm a bit hungover this morning. I tried catching the bounce twice and already got stopped out. What leverage are you trading on, brother? Just out of interest, what leverage are you entering positions on? Because if you're trading altcoins and you're trading on anything, to be honest, above 5x, like entering positions, you're just not gonna be able to stay in on the wicks unless you're not using a stop, which you should always be using a stop, really, unless you're on like 2 or 3x cross and you know what you're doing with your whole position. For example, if I was trying to catch something on render here, I'd be looking to ladder in between there and there. I'd be looking to put more heavier bids towards the bottom, so towards 3.5, 3.45 would be my slightly heavier bids. To just average my buys a little bit further down. You could definitely start at 3.5 with some light ones here. But as you get further down into this area, this 4-hour swing and the 886, that's where my slightly bigger buys would be. And then say my entries like around here, I'd be looking at maybe 1.5. If it's just below the low, possibly 2% raw. But if I'm trading on 3, 4, maximum 5x, that's as much risk as I'm willing to take. Well, it's a proper count, so essentially it's like 100x, but I keep the stops really tight. I don't know how to let it in. I always do one entry and try to nail it as good as possible. 100x is not. It's just not. So are you entering positions on 100x? Because you can't. There's no way that you could ladder in on 100x. There's just absolutely no way. But yeah, I think this looks quite good. That's definitely something that's looking very, very interesting. Render to me. So render's looking the best. There was actually one other thing that's looking good as well. Tau's looking pretty decent. Injective's also looking potentially quite decent if we hold these levels. Doge is looking decent. What's Sui doing? Oh, that's a really bad wick. That's a terrible wick. Sui again, this is an overlapping support. This could be looking potentially quite decent. This actually played out perfectly from one of my streams yesterday, by the way. Was it Friday? Yeah. So this was Friday. I think I was saying it must have been somewhere in here. We might get one wick down to this orange line at 331, which was this low all the way down here. We might get one wick and then a big bounce, and we seem to exactly have got that. That played out really well. Again, this is coming back down into the potential buy zone. For maybe we could catch something on the 4 hour combination band here. Again, I just like trading on 3x cross or low leverage because then they look like they really could easily. Do you know what would be really devious? Doing something like this. That would be really devious. I could definitely see that happening. Oh, okay, I get it. It's not 100x per se, but it's an evaluation account, so you basically pay $500 and get 50k of liquidity. Okay. If you're risking 1% per trade, then that's fine. You seem to be okay with risk. But you can ladder in, so if you're risking 1%, just calculate what 1% of it is and then break up the orders a little bit into like 4 different orders or 5 different orders. I need a cigarette, one sec. But yeah, has anyone got any other altcoins that they're looking into? Hernan, Hernan, you were the one. Okay, Hernan, private. I private message. Oh, you private messaged me back. Okay, I replied to your message just before this stream. I'll talk to you. I'll reply to your DM. I'll reply to your private message after this stream because it is 12. So we've done an hour, and yeah, I kind of want to wrap up my stream a little bit. Does anyone have any other altcoin potentially to look at just before I wrap it up? I'm trying to keep these streams below an hour, and we've done 55 minutes so far. AVAX, okay. I am long on AVAX. I'm pretty sure it looks pretty decent. We'll just look at this quickly. And then we shall go. Yeah, AVAX looks really good. Where are these swings from? I don't even need to put that on. AVAX looks good. It looks strong. Currently getting obviously a dump off its resistance and its weekly open. I think You've got a lot of support down here. You've also got the combination man coming in around 23.6, which is also this swing that I've got on. This is all the way back from the top of this structure at the end of May that we're potentially gaining back right here. So I think this looks good. We've got extreme resistance in here. We've got the daily combination man. We've got the weekly open. We've got November. We've got overlapping reds. So that's going to be quite hard to break. But as long as we can hold this low here, I think you're potentially looking at a break just because of this upsiding price action. Since there, I think I'm already long from 20. Where am I long from? I'm long from here. I'm long from that low. So I hope we get a higher low here and continue up. That would be really nice. But yeah, this is either going to bearishly retest and go a little bit lower down into that area, or it's just going to fail right now and come back down and then bounce all the way back up. That's what I'm looking at the market. There's actually a lot of similar setups on altcoins like this. Let me just go back. And I'll just do it again. We've obviously got the low that we set in on Friday. The highs that we came back down from, we got the weekly open and we got the low here. Either come up, bearish retest, back down into support, or back down into support, and then we'll come up and retest again. I won't be shorting if we get back up in here. I'm just not looking to short at the moment. But if we do get back down to the lows, then yeah, I'll go back into some other position with what I sold over the weekend. I actually longed AVAX here. Not here. I did not catch it here. I got stopped down and injective there, which was really annoying. Did you look at Fartcoin? Oh no, I actually didn't. What am I doing? Yeah, let me look at that really quickly. .p. So it's just looking. So what I'm thinking on Fartcoin is hold the 4-hour low, and potentially we're going to go and test up higher. So hold this low that we just put in here. We're potentially going to go test up higher in the structure, maybe the Q4, maybe $1. If we lose that, we're going to go all the way down to the daily combination man, which is here at 7.3. Right now, we've got a lot of support in here. We've got the 4-hour overlapping. We've got the combination man. We've got a lot of stuff. It is looking a little bit rough from this double retest in here. It definitely could slide a little bit lower, but in general, I think this is going to be an area of big accumulation of Fartcoin. Big accumulation. And I do expect this overlapping support to hold to some extent. So yeah, again, I might load up a little bit more if we get back down into this area. And if we lose this, we're going to go all the way to 7.3. Which would be interesting, actually, if it did that. But let's see. I think it's definitely at support. And if we can, it's like with all the other altcoins. If we could just hold this, you're looking at a bounce up to the weekly open. And then if you fail that, then maybe you're looking at possibly breaking down. It does look a little bit worse than some other altcoins. So compared to AVAX, which has made a new high, it's looking a little bit worse. But it was looking bad here, and we got a really big bounce and a new high. and then we're currently holding that just about. So I'm bidding support until it's not. You can just see that if I take this off, just take everything off, to be honest. This is acting as support. So bid support. And you should be fine. Ray Dupe Drift, lots of nice SPL coins. Oh, why did you put this at the end of my stream, bro? You literally put that at the end of my stream. I see, thanks. Were you looking for shorts? No, I'm not looking at shorts at the moment. I'm looking for the longs. Longs. Anyway, let me stop my recording.